Hi, Emily. What?
Going live.
Okay. Hi, Emily. I really need to figure out a better way to set this up. I can have the camera that way somehow. I really need to figure out a better way to set this up. Oh, message retracted. Hi, Lauren. I have the camera. And I need to mute myself. I forgot that stuff. I really need to figure out a better way to set this up. Oh, message retracted. Hi, mute. Okay. Now we should be good. Maybe. Need Dr. Hubs to talk to verify that
I'm
we're
here.
good.
Sounds good.
Uh, less technical drama than historically in trying to get this going, because maybe we're actually figuring things out, hopefully. Be nice to think that learning can occur. What?
I think
How is everybody today? Hopefully your day and year is going better than mine. Jesus Christ. There are updates from last time, but give a couple minutes for people to trickle in. The freaking participant list is like never accurate for me. In theory, Emily's here. Um, maybe. Maybe. That's okay. Yeah, it's like it's gotta be late for you, Lauren. With the survey. More people said they wanted it at this time, so uh I guess I didn't send a reminder. Oh well. Hi. Okay. And I think I put it in Discord. Sort of. Kinda. Sort of kinda. Yeah. That's fine. I When did the Academy Awards happen? Is that tonight? I know it's like some people are talking about it, but I have no idea when they are. I feel like it's usually on a Sunday, but it has been ages since I bothered with any of that. Lauren, not a water bottle. Thank you very much. Um, well, as is tradition, kitty updates. I don't think there's really any. Uh, they're ever so slightly more social with each other, and we've got Izzy. Um, like they'll clean each other's heads, which is an improvement. Um, Still not the absolute little sex kittens. Well, not sex kittens. We call them lesbians, like Cleo and Callie. They were just all over each other all the time. Um, Izzy and Max aren't there yet. I don't know if they ever will be, because Izzy has some issues, some baggage. That's okay. Clingy as hell for me. It'd be nice if she could cling on to Dr. Husband, but that's how it goes.
I would have to be home for that.
No, but when you're home, it'd be nice if she would just be a magnet on your lap instead of mine. Um, since I hurt myself trying to accommodate her if I'm playing. So it goes. So it goes. Um, put the bird feeder back up. So there is entertainment for them with the birds and the squirrels of the neighborhood. Except one squirrel in particular is really good at just dumping everything out of the feeder. Like, it's in theory a squirrel proof feeder. It's got like a cage that the little birds sit on that the squirrels can't get into. Um, but this one was it Goldfinger? Uh, yeah, no. But there's this one squirrel who like knows how to climb on top of the cage and then just like shake it so seed and everything falls out. So pretty much the entire feeder's worth of seed is on the ground right now. But the birds and squirrels and stuff will still eat it there. They're just cool. Glad to know that.
Actually,
Hmm?
instead of climbing it, they actually jump from the fence, I think, and just like Superman it.
Well, right, but then it climbs down
Oh,
the feeder and
yeah.
shakes it. Was it? Right. Okay, I'm getting confused with Austin Power Gold member. Um, who did Donald Pleasance play? Because I feel like it was whoever he was that was doing the cat stroking. The Goldfinger? Like, I watched the Bond movies when I was a kid. I've only seen like two of them in the past 5 years. And like I remember there's Blofeld. Was it Blofeld? Was he Blofeld? Donald Pleasance? Um, I'm very clearly well versed on my Bond everything. Uh, that's okay. I admit I am ignorant. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, Dr. Evil served his hairless cat, or at least after the cryogenics accident. Um, we actually, so some friends were in the market for a cat, and for a little bit, they were thinking about getting one of those like hairless cats. Not sure why. And I relayed the story I heard at some point of this cat that was like the office cat for a vet's office or something. And it was a hairless cat. And I guess they had a lot of glass, like table surfaces sort of thing. And they said that, like, every day they had to go around with just like Windex or surface cleaner or something because there'd be little like marks from the cat's butthole. Because I guess like a furry cat, there's a little bit of a buffer, so it's not just kissing every surface it goes on. Um, but with the hairless cat, it was. And I think that convinced them the hairless cat wasn't the way to go. 'Cause it's a kind of gross thought. I mean, like, yeah, they do sit on stuff, but for the most part, it's not noticeable when they've sat on something. I mean, our calico had some butt issues, so periodically it could be noticeable. That was so gross. That is a truly unique smell. On the off chance any of you are eating, we won't go into it further. It was gross. Um, yeah. So do we still just have you two? Maybe private live stream. Oop, for you, Lauren. Congratulations. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, I can have a tendency to go far, so we're just gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it as is. Um, cause yeah, what I'm playing these days. Lost Ark, is that different than Ark? Clearly up on my gaming news. I'm still working through Divinity. It's been a little bit since we've played our joint game. Dr. Mr. the husband has been busy pants. Um, yeah, just sort of vegging doing that. Feeling a lack of drive with it, just because of medical bullshit. So progress has been slow, but that's okay. Um, yeah, it's exciting. I guess I could Google Lost Ark and try and deal with the delay in relaying information. Oh, it's an MMO. Oh no. Oh no. no, no, no. We're done with MMOs. Hopefully it's not blasting everybody with the trailer. Yeah, no. Like I enjoyed Diablo. I just do not like playing with other people at this point in my life. Um, and that's okay. It's good to know our limits. Um, yeah. MMOs would be fun. I say that. MMOs in theory are fun, except for the mechanics of trying to keep people engaged and online and doing shit. Like I don't remember what my played on WoW got up to, but it was something obscene because I wanted like the stupid achievements and all the collectibles and 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 farming for the guild and other stuff. I keep just abusing the microphone. Apologies. Um, so yeah, MMOs. Because it like one of the nice things is being able to play stuff with my husband, but then you have to deal with everybody else and all the encounters that are balanced for like 5, 10, 20 people. Mm, I don't want to deal with 5, 10, 20 people. Yeah, they do help develop community. Just, I don't know. Like the first guild we had in WoW, the first raiding guild we had in WoW, there was just nonstop drama. Like so much. And like the original GM, what were they called GMs? Was that the guildmaster? Is that what they were called?
Yep.
Um, Fucked off at some point, and in an attempt to salvage it, is that when it got handed to you or it got handed to somebody else first?
I think it was to me.
And no, it went to like L or something first, and she was like mismanaging it like crazy.
Mm.
Um, and I was raid leader, or I ended up being raid leader eventually, and managing 40 people and we were basically like a feeder guild for the higher end raid guilds because it's like we would train people on the fights, they'd figure out what they were doing, and then they would get swooped up by one of the better guilds. Fuck this. Um, and then more drama happened. We bailed to a different guild, and there was less drama in that guild, but it wasn't zero. And yeah, like with my dissertation going the way it did, and the guild becoming just like super stressful. That's when I got into Mass Effect. Like, I would rather play this than anything else. I'm out. Bye. Um, quit raiding. And I went back into it for a little bit during husband's postdoc because I had nothing else to do. And yeah, just meh, meh. Like I know there's guilds that aren't toxic as fuck, but we certainly didn't end up in one that wasn't. Huh?
I'm skeptical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I think, there's some friend groups who are able to swing it and are large enough that they can raid. But beyond that, um, but yeah, I'll pass on the Lost Ark. Um, I don't even I don't even know release stuff that's happening soon, really. The last game I was really excited about was like Cyberpunk. And yeah, like I think there's a Diablo 4 coming at some point, maybe. Um,
Candidate two is Baldur's Gate.
yeah, yeah, when Baldur's Gate goes live, we'll probably get that. Not that we've played a Baldur's Gate before, but I mean, Divinity seems sort of like an audition to be able to get the official D&D thing. Um, yeah, I should play Cyberpunk again. I feel like I've heard that they've changed a bunch of stuff or patched some of the stuff. Not that I was having a lot of trouble before, but I know you were. Um, it is meh, meh, rather sort of veg. Like I tried watching Succession. It's like Drew Gooden had recommended it as a good show. I can only watch somebody self-sabotage themselves so many times before it just like, mm-mm, we're good. We're good. Yeah, I'd still pay for a DLC for that game too if they can ever get it done. Uh, Um, yeah, yeah, Succession was stressful. Like I made it through almost the entirety of the first season. It was well acted and like the shots looked good, but oh, so stressful. And also like, oh, wow, these people with obscene amounts of money are struggling. How am I supposed to feel bad for them? I don't know. Whatever. Um, yeah. So I don't know if you guys would want a doctor update. I haven't looked at Euphoria. Um, like I don't know, hearing it as like Degrassi again. Like I never got into Degrassi when I was the appropriate age group. Um, and so yeah, I just don't feel like I'm in the target demo there for Euphoria. And I, oh, I did watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Like I was a little skeptical with the casting. That was interesting. Andrew Garfield did a good job. And what's her face? Who was Tammy Faye? I can't remember her name. Uh, but that was interesting. Didn't realize that. Um, I imagine you guys are familiar with Tammy Faye. Um, yeah, Euphoria. I don't know. Not my scene. I also like never got into skins. Um, or that genre. So not really my thing. Um, Tammy Faye was one of the televangelists, like prosperity gospel for janitors, and like I guess they had like her and her husband sort of had a rivalry with the people behind 700 Club, 700, 800, whatever they are, like the other big TV ministry thing. Um, and so there's a lot of negative stuff there about like God rewarding the faithful with money and finances and stuff. Oh man, she was on that with Ron Jeremy. Oh no, hi Delaza. Um, but I didn't know that she sort of did a solid to the like LGBTQ community for AIDS and HIV when that was big. Um, you don't know what any of those are, Emily? Jeez. Yeah, it's not that America has produced a lot of good things, but it's certainly in the negatives. Um, Ron Jeremy's a porn star. Looks like a hedgehog. Um, but I guess like in the middle of the HIV epidemic, when it was like at its peak, she had on a guy in California who had HIV and was just trying to share like he wasn't living like a super sinful lifestyle. He was a good Christian and he had it and it hurt him the ostracization that he was getting from people and that like a lot of like nurses and doctors would even really not want to touch him, and just sort of humanizing it a bit to a group that wasn't necessarily interested in having that facet of the community humanized. Um, yeah, I mean, Euphoria sounds like, in part, at least the stuff I've seen about it, that it is trying to like get attention through the outrageousness. I don't know. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the HBO thing was called like The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and um, they did sort of at some point clip a bunch of like the SNL and other comedy things being made at her expense because she did cry. Like she did cry a lot. That was definitely her thing. Um, and I could see VH1 and other people trying to milk that from her because it was sort of her brand. And I mean, it's almost like Trisha Paytas, right? Where like crying on the floor in her kitchen is like part of her brand. Um, so then it's sort of like treating them like a one trick pony for that, which is a little gross because you have to do emotional manipulation to get them to that point. Um, oh, excuse me, sorry. And yeah, I understand sort of where Tammy Faye was coming from more now, which is something. But I think that got suggested to me because I was watching this other thing, um, another prosperity gospel thing, but it was actually a documentary instead of like a dramatization with actors. And I am forgetting, I think the lady's name was Gwen. But it was definitely like a prosperity gospel with like a lot of abuse in the church, and the founders died in a plane crash and like in the process of making the documentary. And there's like a fourth part that's supposed to come out soon, so I keep checking back. Because I think in general I would rather watch like actual documentaries on stuff instead of dramatizations. But yeah, I kind of, for my mental health, have to steer clear of any of the environmental stuff because like I know we're fucked. I know we're fucked. I don't need to hear further about how fucked we are. So that leaves me like social documentaries and cultural, historical. Um, but I'm good at exhausting documentaries. Um, yeah, yeah, life's fun. We still have this. We still have this. Kitties are fun when they're not dismantling your humidifier, which she likes to do because there's a little part in it that's a little plastic thing that she likes to chew on. Like, thanks, sis. That's the best. Love that for you. Our carpet, which is now wet because I didn't realize what was going on. Um, yeah. Um, well, I guess I can complain for quick and give you an update on the stupid doctor situation since last time I went off on that for a little bit. Hopefully, I won't cry this time. Certainly feeling the mantra of like, it can always be worse. Yeah, yes, it can. Um, so we switched healthcare. I got a doctor with a clinic that seemed promising from the FAQ. The FAQ was apparently all a lie, and I was weirded out by the doctor because I'm concerned that maybe I've got like MS going on instead of just trigeminal neuralgia, because trigeminal neuralgia can be a part of MS. And after last time, um, just saw the squid. Um, Thought about it further, got more annoyed with the doctor I had seen, and then there was like difficulty with the insurance billing because we still haven't gotten our actual physical cards from the insurance company. they keep sending it to the wrong address, which cool. But we got an electronic copy finally, so then we could sort out the billing. And I had Dr. Mr. The husband do that because one of my shitty superpowers is just not being able to convey things appropriately or in a way that's helpful on the phone, I think. Because things tend to get resolved better with him. Not sure why.
You're
Uh,
just saying I'm an asshole, basically.
well, I mean, it's not that you're an asshole. You're able to be terse and forceful and not have people hate you. I don't know. So he spoke with the insurance, and whoever he got an insurance to sort out the billing because, hey, this doctor who swore up and down that they were in network aren't in network, of course. So to get that sorted, he spoke with them, and the person he spoke to was like, "Oh yeah, that clinic, run, never go back there, run far away." Um, which cool, great, and because I guess like he's dealt with them before and had heard bad things or something. Like I don't remember exactly what he told you or what he said. You said he told you.
One, they don't like the pay model,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't want an extra. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't nothing bad about them being bad doctors in general. But
It was sketch. Um, so I called insurance because like at this point, like trying to find a doctor is just impossible. It's fucking impossible because like, hi, I have a complicated pain situation and am requesting pain medication. Like I have had doctors reject me before. Um, and like when we lived in the state before this one, I ended up getting a case manager, like a nurse, registered nurse case manager to help me with stuff because it was just like, there's no doctor in town who will take me. What do I do? And so I tried getting one again. And the first person, well, it's like so many fucking hoops, and I'm not even sure it worked. Um, because the first person I spoke to was like just a general line for stuff. And it's like, I need help finding a doctor because I have like a pain condition. Like, oh, you need to speak to billing, I think is what she wanted to send me to. And it's like, no, 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 no. Like, I need help. Like, I forget what I said exactly, but like, I need a case manager to help me with stuff. So then she transferred me over to the case manager people. Um, yeah, I think hopefully that's roughly what I'm getting as a concierge, Emily, but I could be wrong. Um, and maybe I need to try again. Because then got spoke to somebody with case management who was like, again, trying to pawn me over to billing, but then I forget exactly what I said. Cool. But started crying and like, no, I need help finding a doctor. Like, I understand the situation that you can't pick a doctor for me, but like, I need help because XYZ. And she was very understanding. And then, like, okay, you'll get a call in 2 days from somebody, and hopefully they'll be able to help you. And that other somebody, again, trying to send me off to billing. It's like, I need help finding a doctor. I understand you can't pick a doctor for me. Like, I have to pick the doctor, but I need help making appointments. I need an advocate. Please. Um, and so eventually twist her arm enough that she says she'll help. But there's like something weird with the insurance where we have to go through my husband's employer instead of just the insurance company. And so she was like, I'll get you connected with somebody through there. And in the meantime, let's get you a doctor. And so I have an appointment the 31st, no, 28th, end of the month, with the doctor. Um, yeah. Well, okay, one thing at a time. I always want to jump in to respond to comments before continuing my thought, which is just a bad idea. So, because like my husband made an appointment with the doctor that was sort of assigned to us when we switched insurance, and his first available was in March, like mid-March, and it's actually been canceled and has to be bumped back. And so I told her, like, that's not going to work because I need refills before then. Like, this isn't going to work. And so she was able to get me in with a different doctor at the end of the month. But then it's like, okay, cool. I still need prescriptions filled before then. Um, and so she suggested that, I try urgent care or I try the doctor helpline through insurance, both of which I don't think she's either cares that this won't work and could potentially blow up in my face, or, like there's no good options. Uh, so I hadn't burned the bridge with the doctor that was out of network and kind of sketch. That made me mad. Um, so got what I was hoping would be a month refill of the pain medication. That was 10 days, 10 days supply, basically. Nothing said to me about why. Nothing said to anybody, as far as I can tell. And so I wrote back, like, hey, so what you gave me is 10 days. Like, I'm trying, well, she gave me a referral to a pain management person who's also out of network and whose website sketches me the fuck out at this point. It's very glossy. Um, it talks about like acupuncture, physical therapy, guided imagery being like part of his core treatment belief system or whatever. And it's just like, no, we are not. I've done these things. I have done these things. They make it worse because it's the damnedest thing that shoving a needle into an angry nerve would make it worse. Um, anyway, so I don't want to go there. Um, and so it's like I have a doctor's appointment the 28th. What do I do in the meantime? Like, can I please continue to get refills through them? In response to that, found out that the doctor I had seen is leaving the clinic next Tuesday. It's a fucking nightmare. It's all just one big nightmare. Um, yeah, so like the clinic gave me instructions on what I needed to tell the insurance company in order to get them billed. But the instructions they gave would make it so it would be like really hard to see people who are properly in network, which no thanks. I'm not coming back to this place. I hated this place. Um, like the more I thought about it, the more mad I got about the doctor in this place. And I want nothing to do with them because it feels like a scam. And yeah, so I have a different doctor appointment at the end of the month, fully expecting them to just give me the finger. Um, which uh like if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw the thing with the CDC maybe changing their prescribing guidelines for opioids, um, which Dr. Husband sent along to me, which would be nice, but I'm fully expecting most doctors to still not want to take on the liability or whatever. And a really fucky thing is on the insurance website, it has like a find a doctor tool. It has all these different specializations. Like, what were some of them? Like, aeronautic doctor or something? Like, underwater doctor? Like, really specific, weird things, but they don't have pain management or pain as one of the subcategories. So, um, yeah, finding somebody in network for that through their website seems to be impossible. Um, yeah. Well, and like, we had a similar insurance company when we were living in the state before this, and it basically worked out that like the nurse doctor that was my primary care practitioner. He was a nurse. I call him Doctor Nurse. Um, was sort of kind of in network, and the psychiatrist was sort of kind of in network. Like their office never knew how to bill things, so every month I was on the phone with the insurance, like it's in network, you guys approved this. Because that was just a whole ridiculous situation, because he was in New York doing like telehealth before it was the big thing it is now. And so there were like so many different hoops that had to be jumped through for me to not pay like several $100s per visit. And I was seeing him like every month. Um, I really don't want to go through that again. That was a lot of time, a lot of frustration. Um, and I don't have the brain power for that anymore, I don't think. So yeah, that's where that's at. Um, oh, somebody's playing Lost Ark on Discord. That's funny. Anyway, um, and I'm not sure if you could hear Max there. He does that to Dr. Husband Ways at his desk.
It's
He
time to play
wants.
with Max.
You're playing with him?
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Let
Just
me know if it's
meow,
distracting.
meow, meow. The end of the world. I need plays. Meow. He doesn't do that to me. Like he'll just come in and chill in my office, but if he's home and he's working, he's getting meowed at. We have cake. I am bribable with cake. Here's a fucked up story from grad school I don't think I've shared yet. Um, when I started, it was tradition. Like, okay, when I started, there were three professors in cognitive and three or four in the neuro perception stuff. And like those two departments were basically interconnected. Like we shared the same space and overlapped in brown bag and stuff. But when I started, like my first week in grad school, one of the professor who I ended up graduating under, her student was graduating with her PhD. Like she defended her PhD, and good for her. And there was champagne and cake after, because yay, you did your PhD. Good job. Um, and by the time, like, I think my cohort's round of masters was the last of the celebration cakes because one of the new hires who, so much with that guy. Like, he's married to one of his former students. He's that type of guy. Um, like, he's married to one of his former undergrads. And he put forward the idea that my original advisor very much on board with, that having celebration cake after gave students the impression that they would pass no matter what. We went into it fully prepared to fail. Like, ideally, your advisor wouldn't let you go in with the knowledge that you would fail it. Like, certainly there's always a chance that you're going to just demonstrate that you didn't do the project or something and fail on those grounds. But we looked at it as it's either going to be celebration cake or consolation cake. Like, either, wow, that sucks, at least you have cake, or like, yay, cake. Um, but that got outlawed because of the new hire being like, oh no, we don't want to give students the wrong impression. Um, so it became a thing. I don't know if it's still a thing, but it became a thing for the grad students to arrange for cake or cupcakes or something for the other students, and um, it was our illicit cake, and we'd have it in like one of the rooms that like I had a key to, and some other people had a key to, and yeah, like a couple of the perception professors were allowed in, because they were very upset by this banning of cake.
Was your advisor your end advisor?
My original advisor was very much on board with canceling it.
No, with your
Second,
client.
yeah. She was
Did she
frequently
ever?
invited to have cake, and sometimes she'd take us up on it.
Yeah, she seemed like a kid kind of girl.
Yeah. Well, like her and the dean, like they were both in the same network of schools for grad school. Um, after that first PhD defense I saw, talking about how it was a thing at their school for like the champagne pop was done in this one room, so it would hit the ceiling, and then you would sign the little dent from where your cork hit the ceiling. Like that was a thing. That was a tradition. It was normal. Um, but we can't have that. We can't have fun. Can't have good things. Um, yeah. So like uh, somebody who did some memory research stuff got a cake. Um, I think I can probably, yeah. So there's one of the memory things. I forget. It's the Dees Roediger McDermott effect. And the basic idea here, um, it just saw Delas's comment. I mean, to be fair to him, it was one undergrad. They realized they had chemistry. He kicked her out of his lab because she was one of his research assistants, and they put off getting married or pursuing the relationship further until she graduated. Um, she actually was one of my research assistants after she got kicked out of his lab. Found out after I overshared about like one of the other faculty marrying his grad student. That like, oh, you're dating, kinda, but you're not dating until you graduate. So maybe he's faithful. I don't know. He's an asshole either way. Um, anyways, DRM. So the idea here is you see a bunch of words that are related to a topic. So let's go socks, pants, feet, laces, like all of these things that are sort of connected to like shoe, but they aren't saying shoe. And so the DRM effect, I think there's probably a different name for it. Clearly, I've thought about this recently. But basically, people will remember the related item that they're sort of cued into from the other things. And somebody in the program did their master's on this stuff, and so their cake was a cake that got written on like icing, yummy, flower, cup, just like all of the related associate words, but not cake. So that was their thing. So we tried to theme it. I'm wearing my beaver pants. Um, and yeah, so we had illicit cake because some of the professors were assholes. Like my original advisor, because I at the point was like, oh, no more celebration cake. That sucks. And he was like, well, you wouldn't want cake every week, would you? Yeah, excuse me, I would. Also, while we're bitching about that advisor and cake, um, so for I'm thinking everybody else, like prior to me, there was a cake bought by the advisor and a brown bag, it would be served, or like afterwards it would be served, and the advisor would cut the fucking cake. What's my advisor do? He makes me cut the fucking cake. And it's like, I feel like Milton in Office Space at this point, because it's like a really packed brown bag and everybody's there. And it's like, am I going to get a piece? Just keep cutting. And then he complained that I was taking too long cutting the pieces and like sort of, he didn't shove me, but it was like, get out of the way. You're taking too long. Fuck. Fuck. Bye, Emily. Um, so fuck that guy. Another column of fuck that guy. Or another entry in the column, fuck that guy. Because fuck that guy. Ugh. 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 And it's like one of those things where I might tell people to go to where I went to undergrad. Like, I don't think the psychology department exists anymore because the guy who took it over wasn't able to stand up to the administration and justify it existing. Um, but, I think it was a good school. If somebody wanted to go to where I went to grad school, nope, mm-mm, find somewhere else. Don't go there. Bullshit.
Yeah, except every department's probably like that.
Mm, mm. I mean, your department had its quirks. Um, I don't. So one of the other grad students had a friend who went somewhere else. I don't think her department had this level of bullshit. Um, but I mean, other departments that other people, like some of the professors, went to for undergrad or grad school, had their own bullshit. Like a one, I don't remember where it was. Somewhere with a lot of memory research. Uh, as I mentioned, yeah, in the song video, like there's sort of two. I should really check to see if this is still the case. I imagine it is. But there were two big explanations for how memory worked. Excuse me. If it was a single process or a two process. And like the two process, there's recognition, familiarity, which is like a normal distribution where you can have like low familiarity, high familiarity, um, for your likelihood of being able to remember something, or at least know you've seen it before. And then there's recognition, which is like a all or nothing sort of thing. Like you either recognize it or you don't. For familiarity, you can be kind of familiar, not familiar, whatever. And then the single process says no, the two processes isn't explaining things, it's adding a layer of complication that we don't need. And this is apparently one of those differences of opinion that gets very angry and heated, to the point where this one school had people who were like single process and dual process people and would use their students against each other, like during talks, would set them up with like claims or discussion points or whatever, where the student would say something that would piss off the opposite camp, and then those professors would be attacking the student. So certainly it could be bad in other directions. Yeah, like it's common knowledge usually, common knowledge that students want free food. Like duh. Um, yeah. Like part of why, so it's like my advisor, original advisor, had lab meetings every week and they sucked because he just repeated the same things every year, or every semester actually. But one of the other professors, and like we were encouraged to go to other people's lab meetings for some reason, I'm not sure why. So I went to this other guy who is the guy who I wanted on my dissertation committee and to take over as co-advisor, but accidentally died before that could happen. But prior to that, I attended his lab meetings, and in part because it was cool and I wanted to see his research and ended up like incorporating some of it into my dissertation, but another part was because he had food. It was a thing. Like every week, somebody would be in charge of bringing like a snack, and then at the end of the year, there would be a big thing. Like he would take us out to a restaurant. Holy shit. Um, and so I sort of did that with a grad student budget for my research assistants. Like the end of the year, I'd get them like pizza or subs from like one of the tasty sub places in town, just as like a thank you. Like, thank you for doing work for me. I can't pay you. I got you research credit, but like, here's food. And a lot of loyalty can be bought with food. Seriously. Especially at that point. Like, at our age, less so, but certainly when we were students, 100%.
Do you remember when I would grade for free food and
Oh,
beer?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you want to share that story?
It was just an intro physics class, and the idea is to get done as soon as possible when you grade 100 or 200 tests, because we had like two sections
It was more
of
than that,
100.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like two sections of 100 students. So it's
Hmm.
like 200 tests, and it's physics, so it's written problems, right? It's not even Scantron. Um, and he would basically offer all of the grad students could come in. Uh, he would buy like 10 pizzas, and then afterwards he would buy everyone beer. Like we would go to the pub across the street and drink beer afterwards.
Well, it was like everybody was responsible for like creating a question, so there was some specialization, and so you would see the same thing
Yeah,
over and over again and just pass the test around and
right. Yeah, and that way it'd be more uniform too.
yep. Fucking that psychology program. Bullshit. Bullshit. Um, so much rage. So much rage. Like sort of in a mood today. In part because I filled out the CDC thing for like, give us input on what you think about pain management, blah blah blah. And it's like, you guys are fucking me over, is what I think. Um, but preparing for the doctor visit at the end of the month, like I basically have a spreadsheet of just what I took when, what I tried when different symptoms started and all of that. And thinking about things further, like either I have just a clusterfuck of coincidences that sort of kind of resemble MS, or like this is something we need to be really looking into. Um, but just the amount of, I don't know if I want to call it gaslighting, but just so many doctors like minimizing things or like giving me bullshit answers. Like, I've asked a couple doctors who've given me weird looks. Like, is a sprained lung a thing? Um, so yeah, like, because I get periodically like rib pain that's pretty intense and makes it hard to breathe. And during his postdoc, it woke me up in the middle of the night once, and we went to the hospital. They did an X-ray, and the diagnosis was a sprained lung. And it's like, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing. And that was right before I started adjuncting, but at some point I had a student who needed to make up a test because she had some sort of thing happen and she was diagnosed with a sprained lung by the same hospital. So I almost wonder if that was just sort of like a, okay, it's something that you can't really deal with. Here's a diagnosis to get you gone. It's like, go away, just go away, take painkillers or something like Tylenol. Um, and just like have periodic vertigo that will just come and then go. And like the doctor gave me like anti-nausea stuff for it and looked at my ears and like, yeah, you shouldn't be getting dizzy. Cool, cool. And just so many of the things where it's like, you shouldn't be experiencing this. The end. Like, um, so I've enlisted Dr. Husband to come with me on the 28th to the doctor because I seem to be taken more seriously when he's there. He's also sometimes not attack dog, but enforcement dog. Like in grad school, the health office um, like told me that the extreme pain I was experiencing was from like a pimple in my ear or allergies. It like I didn't get a referral to see anybody beyond the health clinic until he was there and was able to like look at her. She is in pain. It's not a pimple. It's not allergies. Could she see somebody? Mm, sticker. So where do I have the new sticker? So I think one of the new stickers is roughly the same size as the old one. Um, where did I put the sticker? Honey Bear,
Yeah.
can you do me a favor?
What's that?
I think I have the citation needed sticker over there somewhere. Oh, the microphone. Like, is the zippy thing over there? You're nodding, but I don't see it. I don't remember where the stickers went. Do you even know what the zippy thing is?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember where I put it. Yeah. There's a second microphone, like right there, right now. Let me see if it's in frame. There's a mug. Where did I put the sticker? Well, so remind me, Lauren. Oh, you turned it off. Okay. I think the 3x3 or three. Hey guys, I know you're in the store. Oh, I can't find anything today. Remind me. I can measure because I think one of the stickers is roughly the same size as the old sticker. Because I think it's like there's a 3-inch, 4-inch, maybe a 5-inch version. And one of the versions is roughly the same dimensions. I don't remember where I stuck it. Somewhere. Yeah. I'm helpful. I know things. Speaking of stickers, at some point, not sure exactly when. Little dragon sticker. Yay. Go with a little dragon mug and sweater and stuff, which I finally got. So I'm hoping I'll have time when I do the Peterson video this time to do like the merch shots for the dragon stuff. And I got, it's like I set up another like hoodie, t-shirt, and then because the dragon is so freaking cute, like I feel like if you have urchins, there we go. It'd be good for like a kid shirt. So have a kid shirt, but I haven't ordered a copy of that. And then like a onesie, like a toddler and a baby onesies that the kiddies are going to model. So I have those. And I also we have I think I wrote it down. Who sent me money to do a lobster dinner with Izzy? I better have written it down. I think I have it in a message. Anyways, we have cat food. Like they didn't have lobster flavor, but they had crab. So we need to do a crab dinner with Izzy and maybe Max. He hasn't cared about tuna, so I don't know if he'll care about crab. So there should be a seafood dinner with Izzy sometime soon for Lobster Daddy. Yeah, and oh my god, like I guess I can spoiler things a little bit. So the next Peterson video, we are talking about this thing. It's apparently not going to focus. Maybe, kinda. Because apparently that image is how we need to understand and improve our life. Because alchemy and Jung, it's a lot. I'm actually splitting the video because initially, I was trying to get through a third of the chapter. It's like the third section is on that thing. The fourth section is on I'm probably saying this wrong, the Enuma Elish, like Sumerian creation myth. It's a thing with Tiamat, the goddess of chaos or whatever. Um, and there's a lot of rabbit holes happening there. So we're splitting it so it's not an hour and a half long video. And also so I can finish the script this weekend. But I'll probably go into more depth on the alchemy stuff. Because at the moment it's like we're not going to talk about it because there's more shit to get through, but now we can talk about alchemy and all it's done because Peterson being Peterson thinks it's still a useful way to try to live your life or model your life because Jung. Um, so fun, fun. Spend a lot of time animating for a thing. Hopefully it looks cool. It turns out like a lot of time spent in Photoshop getting the layers separated so I could do the animation I wanted to do. Time management. Um, so yeah, that's what's happening. I need to start the recovered memories video at some point. But this stupid medical bullshit keeps dragging out, and it's just astrology chapter. And I actually I uncommented out a line where I talk about uh alchemy sort of being the sister to astrology because you gotta talk about that stuff and you gotta talk about that stuff. Is there an astrology chapter? Where'd the book go? It's in the thing. I don't think so, but I mean, half the shit may as well be. Uh, yeah, yeah, I know he's dragging. Well, and it's like the rabbit hole I found. Care of TV tropes of all places, just happening to read stuff for breakfast. Like, I guess Mesopotamia, like we sort of talk about it as one thing, but it's like not fully. And there were like the Sumerians, or no, it was Babylonian, sorry. Babylonian, and like Tiamat only really shows up with the Babylonians, but not the Sumerians. And like Sumerians had somebody else in that role, but kind of differently, and like they maybe had a temple, but Tiamat never had a temple, so was she like properly a goddess, or was she only really in this one story? And there's just like so much so much there that of course Peterson doesn't touch on. I mean, I can understand not fully going into all of that in this book. uh, but yeah, there's a lot there that they like. I think I'm annoyed he doesn't talk about that stuff because he treats these myths as like almost real in a way where like they are a valid explanation of things. Um, so I feel like the context that Tiamat wasn't like a Mesopotamian goddess, but like a character in a story and like important for one festival, from what we can tell, matters. And like that context matters. I love TV tropes. I've spent so much time on that website. I always have to use a pop-up blocker because I get like the worst pop-ups on them. Like the type that like pops up and like, you have a virus, you need to call this sketchy number to fix it. It's like, I'm sorry, TV tropes. I am not whitelisting you. You have the worst ads. Um, some places get whitelisted, but they're not one of them. Um, it's just so interesting, all the stuff and all the tropes. Helps me with Peterson. Yeah, I don't remember if he goes into Gilgamesh um in this book because right now it's just the Enuma Elish. Did Gilgamesh come up in 12 Rules? I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, huh?
I can't remember.
Cain has a lot of entries. This one is not all in BDSM right now. Gil. No. Yeah, Gilgamesh probably didn't come up then. I imagine it would be in the appendix if it had. Um, yeah, Mr. Women Are Chaos won't discuss that. And the interesting thing I found, and like, it's a little maddening because it's like I saw it on Tropes and then trying to verify it elsewhere. And there was a Reddit post from people who I guess are sort of practicing the Sumerian religion or trying to based on like what's available, fully explaining like the creation myth and the relation between Tiamat and Namu and all of this other stuff. And like Tiamat shows up in this one story and in like a yearly festival. And maybe she was like the Babylonian adaptation of this other goddess, Namu, who, according to some other website, which is also like not a scholarly thing, which is my problem with all of this, trying to find like actual scholarly-ish sources instead of just like Tumblr posts. Um, was saying that like Namu may be one of the only female prime movers in like all of the different religious systems, which is kind of cool and very much not Mr. Women or Chaos. Um, like a woman starting creation, can't have that. No, no, no. So that was interesting and enough of a rabbit hole that like we're splitting those two. We're talking alchemy in this next one, and all of the Mesopotamia, Babylon, Sumeria stuff's coming later. So yeah, maybe that to look forward to. And also give me time, hopefully, to find some really badass image of like Tiamat or something and animate it. Although I still need to animate the dragon thing, so I'm behind on animation. That's okay. Yeah. It's not like women are known for originating life or anything. Mm. One of the TikTok compilations had something where like somebody was acting out like them being the sperm or whatever on the way to something, I don't know. And it reminded me like I think it was like popular in the Middle Ages, the idea that like the woman was just the receptacle and the sperm is what contained like the life. Uh, and just thinking about if I'm not thinking, it almost feels like, if you're a woman, you came from your mom, and if you're a man, you came from your dad, like super not thinking about it. Um, Instead of like it being the union of the two in the creation of you. Um, just a random thought there. Uh, I mean, it is weird to think about that it's not. I mean, it's weird to think about, but then it also makes sense that we're not like yeast or whatever, where we're just, bloop, I'm forgetting the name for it. You're just budded off of your parent. Oh, she's sleeping. You see her tail twitching? Awesome. Like, I don't know if the microphone will pick up her little growls. Oh, she is sleeping hard. Oh, man. Like, there's a lot of nose movement. One time, she was sleeping kind of hardcore like this, and there was like, oop, microphone abuse again. Um, a lot of like movement and like growls and stuff, and I was a little worried she was having a nightmare. So I just sort of, like, hey, how we doing? Try to like get her back to reality and pet her a little bit, like ever so lightly, and then increase pressure. I thought she was awake. She made eye contact with me, like she came back. But then I guess she actually woke up and like freaked out. Uh, and yeah, I kind of, you can still kind of see the scratches because she just like flipped, like hiss, paws flying, claws out. Like she was coming out of something bad. Um, so we're just gonna leave her whatever she's going through right now. I don't want to go through that again, and she probably doesn't either. Uh, Ted Chiang. I can't say I'm familiar with his stuff off the top of my head, at least. Thanks, Delasa. Um, Homunculi are crazy too, like the little mini person inside of you driving things. That's always fun in intro psych. Like, here's the homunculi of your physical body map and your sensations. Not quite like a little dude driving you, but it's weird. I mean, it makes sense that things would be organized next to each other in the brain, but also crazy. And that, oh man, the noises started again. Izzy, you okay? You okay? That was some hard dreams, huh? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Say hi to everybody. Knock my lamp down. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, Aids. Has some crazy dreams, huh? Any good or bad? Like, speaking of Izzy and Max, he is larger than her at this point, and when they play, she will want to stop before he wants to stop, and so hisses do happen. When she starts having like what sounds sort of like it could be hissy dreams, it's like, are you having a bad time with Max in your sleep? What's going on? And she might knock over my camera in a sec. Don't chew on it. Okay. It's like the cable for the camera's running right by where she's sitting, so it's maybe moving a little bit as she's sitting there. It was earlier when we were testing it. Okay. And she's off my computer. Humanity runs out without homunculi. There's an idea. Oh yeah, that reminds me, since I look this way. Speaking of my freaking health insurance, um, I got sent these, and if you're on follow me on Twitter, you saw one of them. But they're guided imagery for managing pain, easing pain, and stress. They're CDs. Guess how many CD drives we have in this house at this point? Like, my computer doesn't have one, my work laptop doesn't have one. Same goes for Dr. Mr. the husband. Technically could play it in the Xbox, but I don't want to do that. Like, we have a portable drive that works half the time. So that's what I played it in. And it's a
Would
lot
you
of
say it
bullshit.
reduced your stress?
Huh?
Would you say it reduced your stress?
It made me more stressed. I mean, granted, I wasn't listening to the easing stress one or reducing, what was it? Stress, just stress. But listening to it and uh, thinking about the money that was spent on this by the insurance company and being sent this by the person who is ghosting me now. By the way, my case manager is like ghosting me and not responding, which is cool. Like I sent her a message a week ago. Haven't heard back. I got these. Um, yeah, so popped this in and looked up the lady. It's a psychotherapist, Belaruth Napinstek, licensed social worker, BCD. I remember looking it up and being mad, but I don't remember what it stands for. Is a nationally recognized innovator in the field of guided imagery. A warm, dynamic, and compelling speaker, Napinstek has lectured across the country and around the world, training thousands of health professionals, corporate leaders, counselors, performing artists, and health consumers in the use of her powerful, groundbreaking guided imagery applications. Topics included in her collection of guided imagery audio recordings include, there's a whole big fucking list. Yeah, health insurance provided CDs that were overnighted to me for specific health conditions: alcohol and drugs, asthma, cancer, chemotherapy, diabetes, headaches, healthy heart, HIV infection, recovering from stroke, multiple sclerosis, radiation therapy, rheumatoid arthritis. For general health, affirmations, coping with pain, general wellness, healthful sleep, healthy pregnancy, successful labor, self-confidence, peak performance, smoking, stress, weight loss, as well as depression, experiencing grief, and working on relationships. The CD, the pain one, starts with like getting calm and relaxed into an easy state of mind and just letting the thoughts dissipate and whatever. And when you're in that place, focus and think about the pain you're experiencing and try letting it go. And as you exhale the pain out. And while you're here, how about massaging? I'll do it on the other side. Give it a nice deep massage and just acknowledge the pain as being real and valid. And you're just working it out and breathing it out and letting the pain go. And it's like, bitch, excuse me, you want me to rub a thing that gets angry if I touch it wrong? And this was sent to me to help. So as I'm listening to this and getting so mad, I'm doing like Google Scholar guided imagery efficacy, trying to hit like the actual medical journals instead of like the alt medicine ones. And the closest I saw was something that was sort of in an alt medicine journal saying that like guided imagery didn't help with pain, but did help people have more of a sense of control over their pain. Fuck this, fuck you, fuck all of it, burn it all to the ground. Like, oh mad. So mad. This is on top of pain management. A psychologist who'd never heard of cognitive psychology suggesting I try a Kickstarter woo patch that somehow uses, what was it, like quantum something or other to like relieve pain. As a suggestion. Like, can I just have the medicine that works without killing my blood count? If your pain isn't controlled, but you're induced to feel a sense of control, isn't that basically delusion? You would think. You would think. And like, sure, I can understand that I'm in a position where I understand the triggers and I understand what causes it, so there is sort of a sense of control there. But, and for people who don't understand where their pain is coming from, having that knowledge would help. Sure, I get all that. There's apparently a fly in here. But yeah, this is bullshit. This is 100% bullshit, and I'm sitting there getting mad right as he's trying to go to bed, and it's like, well, they sent you free content. Oh, oh, and it's like maybe I should just go through it, and because it's so bullshit. Yeah, well, it blew my mind because it's like she was a PsyD, so she didn't have to do like a research thing for her doctorate. Like it's for counseling. Um, and wherever she went, she had never heard of cognitive psychology. And just where did you go that they didn't even touch on it in intro? What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, she was very open to hearing what it was and like very like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. But just then suggested a woo patch that was very expensive. Like, and like the place I did acupuncture, um, in subsequent videos realized that they also did a little bit of chiropractic on me. It wasn't like crack, but the guy at one point put a gloved hand in my mouth and started massaging, like basically back here, inside, which I guess is a chiropractic thing, so I can check that one off. Um, but I was referred to him, and this was during the postdoc, was referred to him by my dentist, because I never got a doctor there. So I was referred to him by the dentist, and going in, we did like the chiropractic, we did acupuncture, we did ultrasound, and it's just like, yeah, fine, we'll try fucking acupuncture because I know down the road I'm going to be asked if I've tried it. That's the only reason I tried it, because it's like, as the first pain management person at our last insurance place said to me, I just need to try believing in it more. Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe acupuncture works for bullshit like this. I'm not going to change my mind. Like, if it requires me to believe in it, like, there's a problem there. What the fuck, doctor lady? Oh, she wasn't a doctor. She was a doctor. What was she? Was she a doctor? I don't remember. See, I can do the breathing. I can do the breathing. Let go of the bullshit. Let go of the bullshit. I've done the training on this stuff. Like, when I want to rip off a chunk of my face, it's an excruciating pain. I don't know how fucking guided imagery and breathing is supposed to help me. Come on. And then, on top of that, is the nice layer of like, you don't look like you're in pain. Like, yeah, because if I looked like I was in pain when I'm in pain, I would probably want to kill myself. Like, yeah, like people don't like interacting with you when you look like you're in pain. And also, like, yeah, the constant stuff I've kind of adapted to. I'd like help with it, but I'm just waiting for a doctor to insist I come in when it's bad. And I'm fully prepared for that. Like, I've even prepared myself to get an MRI in that state. I've also prepared myself to ask for assistance in dealing with the pain because there's no way I'd be able to wear the stupid head thing for the MRI with it bad. Um, yeah, it's like I have a video of myself in pain because I was trying to figure out the timing. Um, and that's a video that's never going public. Like, absolutely, like sobbing because I'm just so much in pain. I'm like counting when it like spikes because it like right now, like at a 4. Um, but in a flare, it'll go much worse. And the exact number is hard to say because if you say anything other than a 7, doctors don't want to give you drugs because then you're just medication seeking. Anyways, um, when it's in a flare, it's like it's worse, but then it goes like worse within the worse. And took a video of myself in the worst to figure out like the timing of it. Because some of the neurologists was like, or one of the neurologists said something about like it being not constant, the trigeminal neuralgia, like classical trigeminal neuralgia, like it being in periods. And it's like, oh, if I'm actually paying attention to it and putting my attention into it, yes, there is like a periodicity to the intensely bad instead of just badly bad. Um, I just want to be listened to and treated and like I've tried. Like I don't know if you were here for it, Tom, but I mentioned I have a spreadsheet of just everything I've tried and when and notes and stuff, and I just keep kneeing the microphone. Um, it's 97 cells long, like 97 rows of just stuff with this and then like maybe MS symptoms. And I don't, like most doctors don't care. Like I haven't been asked any time recently like what symptoms I have, and medications I've tried is usually just on a intake survey that I don't think they look at. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. Um, well, it's just like I said at the start of this, it can always be worse. Like I thought maybe the change in healthcare and the doctor I set up would be better, and hating myself for being foolish to think it could be. Because, yeah, it feels like I signed up with a scam clinic. So, preparing myself for the worst, hopefully, means I'll be surprised, maybe. But then there's it can always be worse. So, I don't know what worse would be, other than just cutting me off cold turkey. Although maybe there's worse than that. I don't know. So that's why the recovered memories video is always off still. I don't have the spoons. Um, something happy. Do we have something happy to sort of wrap this up on? Soliciting for ideas, Dr. Husband.
Um, um,
That sucks, Tom. I got a kitty tower that's like the right height for the window. They like it. They can kind of share it if they aren't laying in it. Um, did you guys see the Matrix movie? We missed it. It was like, we'll watch it, we'll watch it. And then it's not up anymore, so we missed it.
it's not free.
Well, I mean, yeah. And then eventually it'll probably come back. It seems like the people I've heard talk about it like either love it or hate it. And it seems to be very polarizing. And I feel like the people who liked it enjoyed it for like philosophical reasons, but the people who hated it disliked it from like filmmaking reasons or like story reasons. And I didn't see it, so I don't really know what went on. Unnecessary. Okay. Yeah, see, that's, I feel like I didn't hate the second and third movies. I didn't see them right when they came out, so I missed the hype train. Um, Same thing for like the Snyder verse movies. Like we saw them well after everything, and we only like we saw the extended cut for Justice League before we saw the Whedon version. I enjoyed him, but I like Snyder, like his stuff. So, um, yeah. But like I felt like the first, like the Matrix trilogy was a contained thing, and I didn't understand why a sequel was being made, other than Keanu Reeves is popular again. Um, but I mean, I had the same sort of feeling for the Blade Runner sequel, and I ended up really liking that. But I like Villeneuve uh, style for stuff. Like I absolutely love Dune. So yeah, and like Train Spotting. Enjoyed the first movie. Enjoyed the book. Well, I forget what the book was called. Was it Train Spotting? Whatever. Haven't seen the sequel. As far as I'm concerned, the sequel does not exist. I haven't watched her video on it on Snyder stuff. Um, because it's one of those things where it's like I can see like general what people are saying, but like 300, I thought the substance served a purpose. I don't know. So yeah, I haven't watched her video on that. I kind of don't want it ruined for me. And I also don't like Whedon at this point, which is disappointing because I really enjoyed Buffy in high school. Never really got into Angel though. Um, like by the end of this, is any director in Hollywood going to be okay? Like not huge skeletons in the closet? Or is that just a prerequisite for getting anywhere? And that's like watching Succession to bring this back around. It sort of feels like the thing where there's a greater proportion of people with like antisocial personality disorder at the top of companies because you have to be heartless to do shit and to succeed, and I hate it. Um, Futon of exceptional rabbit enjoyment. That's awesome. Rabbits are so funny. Like we never had one. I had a friend for a little bit in high school who had one until she moved. Um, but finding out that they have like little angry stompy to communicate displeasure with things, that was funny. Didn't know that until very recently. Um, yeah, it'd be nice. Like if we had obscene amounts of money to throw at things, we would probably get them one of those huge wheels. In part, so Max could just burn off some of the energy that he focuses on Dr. Husband. And if this was our house, we would do like one of those cat runs where they can like crawl up the wall and then run along the ceiling. But it's not. So they just have to deal with running up and down the hallway. Poor little sad cats. A full hallway to run down. So deprived. Izzy is currently sitting on the tower trying to figure out where the fly went. She's really good at catching flies. Like just out of the air. Hi, dude. We've talked about buying them flies, like at the pet store or whatever, just letting one loose. They do enjoy it. Is it on the curtain? Oh no. It's out of reach on the curtain. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh no. Um, hey, found a positive. Yep. You wanna come say bye? Come here. Come here. Oh, get it. Microphone in the way. Good. Hi. You're stuck. We need to do their nails. Hi. Anyways, um, yeah, we didn't. Ooh, the stories that came out. Ooh, ooh. Um, I think that's all I've got to stream this live. If you guys have anything. And then I guess now I need 10, 15 seconds of stuff to say while I wait for you guys to type potentially, or potentially longer. Oh, the little stompies are so cute. No, you don't get to go outside right now. I want outside. Hi. Please don't chew on that. Please don't chew on that. So many cables to chew on. Uh, yeah, she's gonna explode here if we don't diffuse with plays, I think. Uh, Thank you all for joining me today and the event session. um, and yeah, have a good weekend. Hopefully be premiering on Friday next week. And Yeah. Bye.
Ending.
Ending. Bye.